friends, welcome back to our second video in our Planner Pro series talking about our student planners. Today we're going to get into talking about the records section of our student planners. So let's get into it. So right away when you open up the Young Student Planner, you have this special page that I just really adore and love personally. It's the All About Me backpack. Let me see. Can you see that well? You can see that. Okay. So this is fun. This is, as I said before, the student planners, they're not just a planner, it's also a portfolio. You get to keep this over the years. They're a record of the work done. They're a record of the growth from year to year. And this is part of the portfolio. So at the beginning of the school year, you can have your student do this All About Me backpack. There is a QR code on the top here. You can see that. You are supposed to scan this code. It will take you to our website where we have a free download that has the instructions page for this little All About Me backpack, and it tells you, it's like labeled. It tells you what to put in each section, in each box, basically. But this is kind of a little art project. The kids will fill it out. It'll tell you, there's a self-portrait here, favorite fruit, favorite book, favorite different things, favorite colors, how many siblings do I have, different things like that. But they get to create, color, fill out, get artsy with it, do this All About Me backpack, and then you keep it in here. It's a little keepsake from year to year. You'll get to see the changes. So that is really fun to do. You can either scan this and download the directions that tell you what to put in each box, or, you can have them do it however you like. You can decide what goes in each box and tell them, or maybe let them decide. But this is a special page that is only in our Young Student Planner. It is not in our, excuse me, it is not in our Investigator and Pioneer Planner. This is for the young kids only. What is in both planners is the attendance. So there's an attendance record on here. There's one in both books. But you can put the attendance year at the top, and then you have space to put the months. There are 12 months, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, so there are 12 months for those who year round, and the entire book is like that. It is a 12-month undated. So there are 12 months here if you homeschool or do school year round, or you can not use all 12 months, and then just you can do, if you do September to May or June, whatever. So you can put the months in order however, and then you will just check off and keep your attendance record. That's what this is for. It's your attendance record. Every state is different and has different requirements as far as attendance and whether or not you actually have to keep a record, but this is for that purpose. And there is one in the Big Kid Student Planner as well. So then as you turn the page, you will see a reading log and a field trip log. So you get to keep track of whatever they read throughout the year. There's a column. Let me just scoot this over so you could see it better. You've got date, title, author, and then some students like to keep track of the times that they read. If they have to do like 20-minute silent reading, you can keep track of the amount of time that you spent reading here. Both planners have the same reading log, big and little. They can keep track of their time. Whether or not you're required to is up to different for each family. But you may decide to keep track of your time just for fun too, so you can see how much of your time you spend reading. My oldest is a big reader, and so I can only imagine the amount of time that this would add up to over the course of a school year. Field trip log. So this is a log where you keep track of all the field trips that you do, dates, You may go on a field trip that is specific to a school subject. For example, you may go to a science museum. That subject would fall under science. And then here you would put the location. So if you go on a field trip that is specific, that you're counting under a certain subject requirement, that is what this is for. You can put that subject here and the location. So that helps you keep track of that. And that is in field trip log is in both planners as well. Then you will get to, after the field trip log, you will see a field trip form. Now, it says on the bottom of the page here, right here, it says this is a master copy. So you can make copies of this. And the idea is to fill this out for every field trip that you do. So you would have if you have more than one field trip in a year, you're going to need to make copies of this, and then you can just put them in here. You can staple it in, whatever you want to do, but keep them in your student planner as part of your record and portfolio. But the field trip form has date, location, subject, and topic. So then you have materials needed. So this is good for if you're planning. Focus and goals. So that's where you like, what is the purpose of this trip? What are we learning? What are we focusing on? What is the goal? Then structure and activity. Are there any planned activities that go with the trip? What is the structure? Is it a self-led tour? So you can write a little bit more about how that, and the activities. Are you doing worksheets? Are you bringing a notebook? Are your students journaling it in their nature notebooks? Whatever the activity is, whatever you're doing, take note of that here. And then there's a section. You can either do this during the trip or after, but there's a section for your students to write what they learned. So it's a pretty good little box on the bottom here. It's a good portion of the page. It's important that we learn something on the field trips that we do. And you can take these with you and you can have them. If they're journaling it, then maybe you would just put a few bullet points in here and maybe you'd put a little note on the bottom that says journaled in my student journal, whatever, or if they're not journaling it and you're simply just using this form to keep a record of the field trip, and this is the only place where they're writing what they learned, it's got a decent sized box, so they can definitely take some notes in here and write some things down. And so the field trip form is also in both planners as well. Then, as this is the records section, you have a semester report card. 2 semesters in a year, so there are 2 semester report cards. So this is where you can keep track of your attendance. That's what you have here. Attendance, you can put the month and the number of days. School grade and date. So this is just a basic header for your report card. Then this is where you keep track of your grades and your grading. On the bottom here, you can put books read. So books read for the semester. You can write, you might even write here if you have too many to fit in the space. You might even say, see reading log from this date to this date. Because if you recall, the reading log does have dates right here for what the dates that they read. So you might say like, see reading log from September to December, whatever, right? Community involvement and activities. You just keep track of whatever extracurriculars they are involved in and taking part in, what they're doing. Achievements and accomplishments. This is really for the student. This is a good place to mention some like big wins that they got this semester, some main things that you want to point out. And these could be personal or academic, depending on how you want to use this record. So you have 2 semester report cards, and that is in both student notebooks. The difference in the Big Kid Planner, there's a small difference where you actually have grade and a place for a column for credits. And then you can total it at the bottom with your GPA and credits received. So that's the only difference in the Big Kid Planner. Then after your semester report cards, you have an annual transcript, which is a very similar idea. Keep track of your courses, your activities, and your achievements. And then in the Big Kid Planner, same idea, but once again, it includes a column for credits, and you can keep track of your GPA and credits received. So that's how that works. Then that ends our records. That was a short video and a quick wrap up. So yay, showing for you guys. Thank you for watching and can't wait to see you next time.